Greetings, Inquisitor. Welcome to the Holocron. This is the week 68 update for the Darth Loquitur account. I update this account's progress every week, talk about the characters, what upgrades I'm making, and plans for the future, and you can follow along. Let's get started. Let's see what happened in the account this week. Our target is still for Cad Bane to get to Relic next week in week 69. He's in good shape. We've just got 2 pieces left to finish on him. Should be no problem to get that done on time and according to plan. We've got Cody here, who could take an upgrade to gear 11. Then we take a look at his gear, and he needs 2 of these biotechs, so we don't have enough to upgrade his gear. And then we have this Fabritech datapad, and if you look down below, you can see a bunch of characters that we want to work on all need this. This is one of the pieces that comes out of the shop for a price of 15 crystals per shard. I've talked about that before. If your farming doesn't come along fast enough, sometimes it's better to just buy these pieces than it is to try to farm them. We need something like 8 of these, or maybe even 9, for just the characters in this journey alone. So we definitely need to get more of these in the account than we're getting through the gameplay that's being given to us. So for the next few weeks, we're going to buy a few of these. Here you see I'm going to buy 25 of them for 375 crystals. We're just going to give ourselves a boost. And we need a lot of them for Ayla Secura, Bo-Katan, as well as Cody. So we just buy a few of them. That doesn't give us the gear tier for him, of course. But if we look at Ayla, she needs a set here. She needs a set here. And then we need a set down here as well. So we need 150 just on her alone. So we'll work our way toward that over the coming weeks. We've got the armor here. We do have enough pieces to get her next gear tier. That's a lot of Kairos that we're committing, but okay, we got to get there. Cairo event coming up next week, so we'll be able to make some headway on her. If we switch over here to Jedi Knight Revan, really want to get him going, but I'm really short on these holo projectors, and they're not in my farming routine right now. So we're going to lock all this stuff in, and we're going to have to potentially farm some holo projectors or maybe even buy them. It's another thing that comes out of the shop for 15 crystals per shard. You can buy a completed one for 300. And that represents 20 shards, so those are a good bargain. I may have to pause my cat purchases and buy a few more of those out of the shop to keep up with everything I'm trying to do. Take a look at some other characters that we want to work on. Again, characters like Gar Saxon. We have enough of the syringes and enough of the Carbantes that we can go ahead and commit just 1 gear tier to him. We're not going to go crazy. Same thing with the Super Commando. We'll put 1 gear tier on those guys. Again, they're in the Gauntlet Starfighter. They're eventually going to be part of the team that we build around Bo-Katan once she's relicked. So we're building them up slowly in the background. We get another star onto the TIE Fighter pilot. I'm just buying him out of the fleet store, and we managed to get some shards every week. So we've got him up and going now to pretty decent way along to his 7th star, so we'll keep going on that. Need about 50 more shards, and then we'll have him finished out. All right, so we're working on his skills a little bit too. Remember, all these skills, as you upgrade them, it helps the ship. So we're going to go ahead, invest in some of his skills this week. Take a look at what other characters we have. Now, we've been farming we've been farming slicing materials instead of mods for several weeks now, and that's given us a chance to catch up a little bit on credits. So we actually have some credits this week that I will call extra credits, and we're going to go ahead and use those to promote some of these characters, get some stars onto characters that we've been neglecting because we haven't had the income to be able to put the stars on them. We've also got quite a few characters down, let's say, toward the bottom of our chart here, that have a bunch of shards that we never cashed in on. So we're going to take a couple of these characters up and cash in the shards. Clone Wars Chewbacca, for example, we got a bunch of extra shards on him. Talia, and then there's a Jawa down here that we can cash in shards on. Barriss Offee we could cash in some shards on. We're going to do the Jawa. We're not going to get to Barris this week. We're going to leave it there, and that'll give us a big 5,900 cash in over here at the shard shop for those characters that we 7-starred. We didn't have that many extra shards for Han, but remember, we're using Stormtrooper Han in a team right now. With that extra currency, we'll go ahead and buy all kinds of interesting stuff out of the shard shop. No problems there. There's always plenty to get. Here's our Gauntlet Starfighter. We can put a level on each one of these skills now that we've taken those characters up, so we go ahead and do that. Inch by inch, making that ship a little better. Same thing with this Home 1. We've been working on that a little bit here and there, and this week is no different. We're going to go in. Still can't quite get it to 85, but we're going to go ahead and pop this thing up to level 84. That's going to give us access to these skills, and we're going to go ahead and use some prestige to update these, and we'll get them to level 4, and then we'll take a look at how much prestige we have left. A pretty good amount of prestige, so we're going to go ahead and take these up to level 5. Now we're going to be waiting on level 85 before we can do anything more with those skills. That's okay. Next week is another week. We'll have more shipbuilding materials. You know, ran ourselves down to 181,000 over here. We've still got some work that we could potentially do, so we're taking a look at these ships to see if there's anything else that we want to invest in. We still have to level up that Gauntlet Starfighter. It's, you know, still at, I think, level 78 if I remember correctly. So we have to invest in that as well. We got plenty of places for our shipbuilding materials to go for the near future. We haven't been buying any mods out of the shop at all, not with regular currency or fleet currency, so we've been kind of hamstrung by the account expansion, but that's okay. We're not missing out on too much. I did buy one mod. I take that back. There was one mod for regular credits that was so fantastic that I actually had to buy it. All right, week 68, we're up to 2.86 million galactic power. We put on about another 40,000 since last week. 26 relics still, 40 zetas. Our CWAT team is getting us the top 50. Negotiator team is getting us the top 5, usually second place. We got one executor in the fleet shard that sits in first, and I can't beat that yet. Cad Bane's the relic target for week 69. We're on track for that. Next week, the same farming plan, really no difference. Just that we're back to farming mods, and we're going to start going for some speed mods right away. Conquest. I had a question about when you should do normal Conquest versus easy. Now that I've started the Abticio account, I can directly compare the easy and the normal. The easy just really has poor rewards. You don't get character shards, so the rewards in normal are better. My opinion on normal, it's not normal. Easy goes well. Hard for me on my main account goes well, but the normal, to me it feels almost as hard to do as hard, but the rewards aren't as good. So the upgrade going from easy to normal feels like a pretty big step to me. So I took a look at that for a few people. And my conclusion is basically, if you qualify for normal, you should do normal. Even if you don't get that high up, if you can get the 4th box, you're already doing better than you would do by finishing out easy. And the amount of rewards that you can get to get the actual Conquest currency where you can make gear purchases is far better. So it looks to me like as long as you qualify for normal, as long as you can clear a couple zones, get into zone 3 is already good enough for you to want to do normal. All right. I took a look at Darth Revan this week. I went through and sorted through the characters and looked at what I would have to build and tried to evaluate whether or not we wanted to do that bridge between Kenobi and whatever comes next. And I thought about it, but I really don't think I will. I think we're going to have to build CLS if we go on the JML journey next. So if I'm building CLS, that already gives me another bridge team. I'm using my Guild Event Token 1 to get the Wampa and Hermit Yoda up and running, so I don't really have extra Get 1 to develop Malak if I went to Malak. So for right now, I'm going to hold off on farming the Darth Revan requirements and see how these next few phases go, and then we'll see if we want to circle back around and start farming those characters up. There's really not a whole lot else to talk about in this account update. It's going to be, several weeks now. We're just going to be grinding away. We're working on ships, trying to get our fleets going for a Grand Arena. We're working on the same characters and teams. We're not really developing any new teams at the moment. We're just trying to grind our way up, and it looks like we might get the promotion from Chromium to Aurodium. If that happens, we'll be a little bit weak on teams. But I just don't have the resources right now to build more teams, so I feel like I'm better off hardening up the teams I have, grinding my way to that JMK, finishing out that cat. Got the armor that we still have yet to work on and finish out. So there's enough projects. I'm not starting anything new. So these updates will just be, grinding away toward that end goal. That's going to wrap it up for this week for the Darth Loquitur account update. If you're following all my account updates, stay tuned for the Aptitio update. If you're a new player, you're going to want to watch this one. It's going to have a lot of information about the teams in Grand Arena, kind of how to think about the teams, and a little bit of a strategic guide to help you think about whether a team should go on offense or defense. And then I'm going to go into a lot of detail on the Fin Poe team, and we're going to talk about why I think that's just a really good defense. Catches people off guard a lot, it seems like, and I like it because it's good, and also it gets a lot of holds against opponents that I think get surprised by it. So we'll talk about why I'm doing that for my Aptitio account, so stay tuned for that. Watch and learn. Remember to like and subscribe if you want to watch more videos like this in the future. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next Holocron.